Good evening. I'd gone for a meeting some time back. It was a typical committee meeting for infrastructure of one of the old buildings that we were taking care of. So, typical little four and a half people. I call it 4.5 because someone or the other is partially in and partially out. They're never always sitting there throughout the meeting. So I say 4.5. But have you ever experienced where one of the members, though they are part of a committee, never turn up for most of the meetings? When the major discussion takes place, where certain decisions are chalked out, they're never there. After everything is done, they will land up and they're basically there to enjoy the free tea or coffee and maybe a little snack, and give their opinion as though they've done it all, know it all, may have done it, absolutely, all respects given there, but done something in their context, at their time, for their need. Here, it is a collective decision that needs to be taken for the greater good, for a bigger picture, for a greater cause. But most of the time, such people are not available, and excuses galore. Okay? So what happened with me and what I experienced? So the critical time had come where we have to finish the project. Primarily, it's renovation and painting of a very old building. It required work. And quotations, everything was finalized, the vendor was finalized, the order was given, the work had also started. The initial work where you scrape off the old paint and start, putting the primer and all that. So all that work has started. Now, this particular meeting was primarily to discuss something additional that had come up while we were doing the scraping of work and all the other stuff, that it came up. It was never there earlier. And a decision had to be taken whether we go ahead and do that renovation or just leave it for another time. So, this individual turns up today. And when we were talking about, look, these are the additional things that are required, he suddenly said, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do it this way? Why do you want to do it that way? I know, I have done it. To reduce costs, I have the material because I've just recently done a building myself. I'll give it to you. I have my labor. I have this. I have that. And literally gaslighting the entire project in a way. Now, why am I sharing this? Because this, I am sure you would have witnessed in another dimension, in another context, but you would have witnessed these kind of individuals coming in and hogging the show, not allowing anyone else to talk because they are very loud, vociferous, they are all over the place, and they drum down anyone who's trying to, kickstart and find direction and start working towards an objective. But they only want to be heard. They don't want to listen to anyone. They want to be heard, so they hijack the entire meeting. Have you come across such people? Okay? Now, I have seen personally in my career also, many times these kind of people come in and literally the entire room becomes very tense, and then it's a volcano waiting to erupt, and sometimes the volcano erupts. And the very purpose for what we have gathered there is defeated. The point is, when such situations happen and when such individuals come into the room, how do you handle it? What do you think really happens over there? Are we using brains, grey matter, or are we purely doing emotional talk? Is it the ego that comes out and then bounces around the room and tries to do a sparring match and to see who wins? The greater picture? What greater picture? Throw it out of the window. It's now about you and me. Who is greater? Unfortunately, that's what comes into play. Who is greater? Who has greater knowledge? Who has the louder voice? Who can push further? Who can push further and who can push back if anything is coming towards them? Whether it's right or wrong, we'll decide that later. But as of now, my point is the best point. My point is the right point. My point is what should be considered. And that, unfortunately, is the approach. Have you experienced something like that? If you have, how have you handled it? Now, I speak from experience. I keep repeating this point. What I've realized is, the moment you have somebody like this, it is better to just sit back in your chair and relax. There is no need to say anything. You let the storm pass, because the storms don't stay. It's the calm waters that stay. The storms come and the storms go. So here is a storm that's coming into the room, trying to literally whitewash everyone that's there. Now, if you become a counter storm, you know how that's going to end up. So, the wise thing to do is just stay quiet. It is worth staying quiet rather than reacting and starting a confrontation which leads nowhere. It's only going to lead to tension and bitterness, which takes God knows how long to heal. Sometimes it doesn't heal, it becomes something else. So, again, for the bigger picture and the greater good, for what the task is all about, I personally just back off. If necessary, I walked out of the room excusing myself to get some water or to use the washroom, so that I can do some thinking as to how to get things back on track, especially if there's a deadline which needs to be met. So, I leave you with this thought. What is important to you? What is important for your sanity when you are amidst such people? And how do you add value to that group for that objective? Is it by shouting back because you have done all the homework and research and you have all the documents to prove it? Or you let the storm pass and approach it with a lot of dignity, a lot of respect for yourself and for the others in the room, and also for the person who's creating the storm. Because that is what will show you as an individual as to how capable you are to sail the ship right through that narrow little alley that has been created by someone who unfortunately is barking up the wrong tree and is going to get him or her nowhere. So give it a thought. What would you do? And if you've been doing exactly what I just told you about, how I approach it, excellent. Can you improve it further? Because everything is about improving. Give it a thought. Have a lovely evening.